Hello and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity. I am continuing my series of thoughts on short treks, where after I watch one of these short treks, I just come on here real quick and give them minimal effort and just say a few things off the top of my head about what I thought of the new short trek. And I gotta say, someone trying to call me when I'm doing this. I gotta say, with this one, yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, it was okay. I gotta say, I actually would probably say that this is the best one so far, and that really shows you the quality of these short treks. I'm sorry, I wanted to like them, and I think last year or last time they did them, there were a couple ones that were okay, but I just don't know if this format it works very well. I am looking forward to the next ones, the animated ones, and the one that links into the Picard show. But I don't know. I just don't know if this format works well for Star Trek or what they want to do, because this one was okay, but it was goddamn it was predictable. Like, I think I watched a video the other day talking about before the short trek came out and saying, "Oh, I bet you this is a scenario where Pike is just like training the cadet, kind of like a Kobayashi Maru type scenario, like in Star Trek 2." And that's exactly what it was. It was so predictable. Like, the entire time I was watching it, I was like, "Oh yeah, he's just testing the cadet." And because Pike was acting in a way that actually was out of character for him. He's like, "Come on, we gotta attack them, we gotta fight, we gotta strike back." The whole time I'm thinking he's putting on an act. Like, that's totally he's totally putting on an act. This is a test for the cadet. But after it's done, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and they made it clear like she didn't know it was a test. See, that surprised me. I thought it was a Kobayashi Maru type scenario where the cadet knew they were taking a test. But I guess this is kind of like that Next Generation episode. They had one in season 1, I think it's called Coming of Age, where they would just do random shit where cadets, and to make them think is real. Like, they had like Wesley, like there was in this fire and he thought people were like trapped in the fire. So I guess it was like that. But they said that her husband's ship they basically told her husband was going to die. And I think that's a bit extreme. And the fact that she was just like afterwards and they said it was all a test, and Pike, "Oh, I apologize for doing this, but we just wanted to see how you would react in this situation." She's like, yeah, it's all good. I don't care because I get to go in the Enterprise." And I'm like, you put her through some serious trauma. Like, the fact that they just revealed, "Oh no, it's okay, we're just, your husband's fine, we just made it all up." That's pretty fucked up. I'm sorry. But they put her through some serious trauma, so I think that was a bit ridiculous. Yeah, but there's not much happened in this short trek. It was actually the shortest of the short treks, I believe, thus far, and it really felt like it was. Because yeah, the whole thing was just like, oh, there's this scenario where they said Pike was imprisoned, and the kid that, I mean, how did she fall for this? Did she really think that they were gonna have such a high profile prisoner that they just randomly push it off on some cadet by herself? I mean, I don't know. But I will say, like, this, the reason why I would say this is probably the best out of the ones so far is because there's nothing about it that was terrible, that was overly offensive. Like, the first one, trapped in an elevator, is such a cliche, and the second one, it was just, don't even get me started about that triples one. There's just, now I got a comment saying, "Oh, it's just fun, it's just, why are you taking it so seriously?" That I hate that argument, just in general. Like, and it's not funny if it is actively bad, and Star Trek is always meant to be taken seriously, as it wouldn't be Star Trek if it wasn't. So I don't know. That's a horrible argument. So, I mean, this one wasn't as bad as that. So it didn't bother me as much as the first two. It was just simple. plain and simple, predictable. Oh, here's a cadet going over the test, and that's about it. Nothing much to it. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10 for my rating. I think that rating's kind of high, but I gave the last two 5, so I feel like this needs to be higher to reflect that. But sure, 6 out of 10 because it was fine. I mean, it was fine, I guess. I don't really have much to say about it. I will say I'm looking forward to if I do really want them to do Captain Pike show. I don't think something like this or these 3 short tracks or this one in particular would be reflective of the quality of the show because, as I said, I think the whole format of doing these short films or short episodes, whatever you want to call them, doesn't really fit into Star Trek very well. I do like seeing Anson Mount as Pike. I think that's another huge positive on this episode, which probably why I didn't mind it as much. I think he plays his character well, so I really would like them to see them do a whole show with him. The blandness of this short track does not interfere with the fact that I do still really think that a Captain Pike show would be really good. And the fact it actually reminds me of that because seeing Anson Mount play Pike again, like this is something I want to see more of. And like they mentioned the Tholians in this episode, I think that would be, if they actually did a full show, they could do more, explore the Tholians more. I think it would work better than Discovery did for a prequel of the original series, which is possibly why, how they sent Discovery 1,000 years in the future for season 3, because they realized people didn't want it in that time period. But I think they'd be more open to a Captain Pike scenario because that feels more like a prequel to Trek, and everyone likes Anson Mount as Pike. Like he does a good job. I still haven't heard anything about the Section 31. I hope they scrap that. Because that's a bad idea. I'd much rather see a Captain Pike show. Anyway, that's all I got about the short tracks. I'll be back next month when the animated ones come out, which I'm actually, as I said, I'm more looking forward to those ones. But who knows? Maybe they'll disappoint me too. We'll see. I'll keep an open mind. Hopefully they'll be good. Anyway, be sure to check out my channel to cover more Star Trek stuff. See you guys next time.